Tonight on Country Squire Radio, it's a Valentines Day Special.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hope that you're tuning in next to the one you love
This will be the last time so many people tune in.
because we're going to be talking about tobaccos inspired by this loveliest of seasons. Oh, yeah. Plus, we got a pipe question of the week about McClellan and quick fire questions and more happening right now on Country Squire Radio. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good evening, man.
Man, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. We're just having a good time up here at the Squire, man.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so many good things going. You know, I've been telling folks that, man, as hard as January is, I feel like we've kind of gotten through the first part of February, and we've solidly like pivoted into a positive direction. You know what I mean? Like it's just things are moving right on up, baby. I just was informed about 20 minutes ago that a good friend of mine just got a job. He's been hunting one for a while, and our Caleb the intern, who I think is about due for an upgrade, by the way, but he's back at work after breaking his kneecap. I mean, who breaks their kneecap, you know? And so he's been back around.
He's
and
still limping around.
You know, the weather's looking up. It's business is going okay. And yeah, man, I booked my tickets to Chicago for the pipe show today.
Woo!
So that's exciting, and man, looking forward to getting up there. And things are things are moving along.
That's awesome, man. You know, it was interesting because beforehand, like you mentioned, your friend that locked down a new job, and I was just thinking actually while we were getting set up about the fact that so many people celebrate various big life moments by coming to the pipe shop.
Yeah.
Both like happy and sad. Like, you know, lost your job, you go to the pipe shop. Got a new job, go to the pipe shop.
That's exactly right.
Had a baby, for good or ill, you go to the pipe shop. You know?
Exactly.
So it's a marriage, divorce, whatever it may be. You're at the pipe shop.
You're at the pipe shop. Yeah,
exactly. So that is crazy. All right, well, man, I just came back from a massive weekend.
Yeah, what were you down in New Orleans, like having a Bible study or something?
Dude, well, it's sort of actually. So I mentioned it last week
because that's what you do in New Orleans.
I mentioned it last week, and I was very blessed and very fortunate that my uncle, who is a member of Endymion, which is like one of the biggest cruise Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans. He rides the floats and everything. He gave me his spot a couple of months ago, and so this weekend was the weekend, man. I actually got to go get on the float, throw the beads, and it was an amazing experience. And yes, to answer your question, it's a full day event, which partly includes a mass. So actually, you go and the bishop does perform mass for all of the crew members. We go, we get our costumes. And then we go to mass.
They got the bishop out there
in costume. Well, that's the funny thing. So the bishop, you know, for those of you who are not Catholic, you know, typically the bishop, you know, he the bishop when you see him.
No, yeah, he's got his pointy hat, his mitre hat.
He's got the special robes, right?
Yeah, and all the get up. Yeah,
well,
and his little staff thing.
This bishop was blinged out. Like he was definitely there for, but it was the bishop. It wasn't like a faux bishop or anything like that. But he had like a Mardi Gras, like I guess version of his cloak. I don't know the correct phraseology, so I apologize to our Catholic
It probably
listeners.
would have been a cassock or an alb, perhaps.
Okay, all right,
Yes,
yeah. And so anyway,
I'll probably be corrected very soon here, but it might be one of those.
So we went to mass. Afterwards, they took us to a feast, and so we all got some delicious food. This amazing kind of brisket beef sandwich with this jambalaya and gumbo and all these great stuff. Some guys brought some cigars from the cigar factory, which was delicious as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then afterwards, after all that, we get up on our floats, and you have to wear your mask the entire time. You can't pass out. Those are the two rules. Mask on the whole time, but can't pass out.
How'd you fare?
I did really well. I paced myself.
You kept your mask on, so you were 50%.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did that. Thing is, man, you get in these floats, and there are bags and bags like these big sandbag size bags of beads. I mean, like, they're massive, and like you can't even see the floor. You're like climbing over them as you're opening them to throw your stuff. And I mean, like, it's a long parade. Like, it's like 4 to 5 hours. And so we go through and we're throwing beads. Actually, I get a chance to see my cousins, and I was able to throw beads at them. And then, you start off in kind of the neighborhoods. So it's like a little bit more family oriented and family friendly. And as you get to the downtown area, you know how everybody talks about Mardi Gras? That's all in the downtown area. But I will say this, it wasn't nearly as bad, or like, you know, you get this painting of like this crazy debauchery.
Right.
It's honestly not that bad.
That's what I hear that. It's funny. Everyone's like, oh, Mardi Gras is crazy. And you're just wading through these, crowds of filth and all this villainy and, all this stuff. And then I see, pictures of my friends down there with their little kids, and they're, they're taking photos with, people dressed up, and, they're showing off all the beads they got, and everyone's having fun. It seems like it kind of innocent. And I'm just like, what gives here?
I don't want to, I don't want to mislead. I mean, there is some of that involved,
right? I mean,
but it's just not
right?
nearly as enough, to the extent that people say.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the cool thing. So the parade actually goes directly into the Superdome. And inside the Superdome, there's this massive ball. They call it an extravaganza. And Jason Derulo played, and somebody else that I did not recognize played. And your float goes around, and you're throwing beads at people in there. They all have to wear tuxes while we're wearing these ridiculous clown costumes and everything.
It's amazing.
And the float actually stops right in front of the stage. So you are literally right front row with the stage right there. And so it was phenomenal. It was an amazing experience. It's probably the latest I've stayed up since being a father, honestly. This is sad, but I am still very sore from throwing beads.
Man, you're out of shape like when your best workout in months is throwing beads. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, like you don't normally do that kind of thing, and then when you do it for hours on end, I mean, right. It builds up. But anyway,
that's something. Yeah,
I just shouts out to the folks in New Orleans that I think a lot of people that live in New Orleans try to either vacate during that time.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, like even like the plastic bags, I'm like, where do I put this? Just throw it on the ground. I was like, well, I don't want to trash the city. And then I'm looking at, oh, that's exactly what we're doing.
That's what people do.
Trashing the city. They can handle it.
What a dumpster fire. No, it's great. It's so funny as we've, lived close to New Orleans, and I've always been kind of steeped in that, just around that in Jackson here. But I've never been to Mardi Gras, and it's one of those things that I think I hear all the stuff, about how crazy it is, and all that, and I'm like, man, I don't know. But the more I learn about it, the more friends I have that go and everything. I'm like, man, it seems like something you could go enjoy for a day, and not get out of control.
Well, to some extent, it's about the crew. We should start a new crew, the crew of Pipe. Or the crew of Briar, or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Where we all go, we smoke our pipes while we're throwing out beads at everying.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, we could take the whatever jar with us and throw the contents of the whatever jar.
Yeah.
And people be like, oh, I got the Latakia, or I got the Black Cavendish or something.
It could happen.
It could be good.
Was there a Greek god of pipes and smoking? Probably not.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Probably not.
But we could invent it like, kind of as apocryphal history or something, and just kind of have our own history.
Right.
That could be fun.
Right. We could actually, you would be the mascot. That's the beautiful thing.
I would,
because it'd be Tobacco Jesus.
It's terrible.
The bishop would have a problem with you.
He would. Yeah. He would. He would. I would be thoroughly, quickly excommunicated.
Well, I know
even though I'm not Catholic, he'd be like, I'm excommunicated.
Just cut out anyway. Right. Yeah. Well, man, I know that's kind of a long story to share, but it was just a blast, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. But man, what's been going on here in the local pipe community and beyond?
Man, yeah. So lots going on. Of course, the 20th of this month is International Pipe Smoking Day, which we're so thrilled about. And of course, last week on our show, we announced that all our sales and everything we've got going on. So just to reiterate, next week on the 20th, which is Tuesday, our sale will start then and go through Saturday. 10% off everything in the shop. 20% off all pipes, and then we're giving away some really cool stuff that we're excited about. So, we're making actually a special International Pipe Smoking 2018 blend, which is awesome. The only way you can get it is if you place a $50 order through the Country Squire, and you'll just automatically get that. You don't have to apply any code or anything. That'll just show up in your package, and so
do people get any kind of hints at what this is?
No, it's you're gonna have to talk about it after you get it.
You got to get it.
It's exciting.
You're either in or you're out.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. So $50 order gets you that. $150 order, you get a free T-shirt. Just be sure to put your size in the show, or in the notes of the order down there. And then at $200, you actually get a free tin of premium pipe tobacco. It is dealer's choice, but if you do have any kind of preferences, like, please send me an aromatic tin, please send me an English blend or a non-aromatic, something like that, we'll do the best we can to accommodate you.
You get some random drops in this.
We're excited, dude. It's gonna be one of those things where people be fired up to open their packages. Yeah. So International Pipe Smoking Day, of course, it's always a big hoot. Everyone gets fired up and everyone's trolling these message boards trying to find discount codes and all that kind of stuff. We actually are going to be doing everything in the store will be 10% off, and then I'm pretty sure you won't have to apply any discount codes. If we do, we'll send an email out about that. But anyway, we're very excited. So,
that's awesome,
yeah,
man.
Should be good. In other pipe news, as we've been announcing past couple weeks, the Raleigh, North Carolina Pipe and Tobacco Expo is Saturday, April 7th there at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds. And they've actually got a pipe carvers workshop on April 6th, but it's on April 7th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you have any questions, you can contact Steve his email is steve@gocsouth.com. And then, of course, our good friends in Texas, they've announced their Texas Pipe Show there at Pop Safari Room in Fort Worth, and that'll be on October 6th, which is a Saturday.
Gotcha. That's good.
Good, man. Some kind of big news in the pipe world of the past couple days here. I was forwarded an article here, actually written by Sykes Wilford over at smokingpipes.com, and apparently Lars Iverson, just incredibly famous, storied pipe carver, passed away yesterday, as a matter of fact. So he was 73, it looks like. Lars Iverson, of course, comes from just an incredible lineage of pipe carvers in his family. And I mean, this is just if you can be closest to pipe royalty certainly in the Western kind of tradition, I mean, this is right there.
He's the guy, yeah.
And so anyway, passed away at 73 a couple days ago. So a lot of times folks would bump into him at different pipe shows and things like that. His pipes are highly coveted, and I'm sure will continue to be on the market. But anyway, Lars Iverson passing away at 73.
Man,
so, yeah,
wow. Well, we got a lot of good news. Got a lot of sad.
Yeah,
a
little pivoting. Yeah, but man, this show will be coming out on Valentine's Day. You got any Valentine's Day plans?
Oh well, so we're kind of combining Valentine's Day and Mardi Gras. We got a little Mardi Gras that we're doing with the kiddos, and we got some plans. Got some plans in order. It should be nice. I don't want to. Well, my wife doesn't listen to this show. I got her a box of chocolates. I went with kind of the very traditional Valentine's Day thing. Typically, we don't normally do the Valentine's Day festivities, but I thought, you know what, this year let's have some fun with it. So I got some little Valentines for the girls, little chocolate boxes.
Well, that's fun.
And then I got one of those giant ones for my wife. So I think that'll be kind of fun.
That'd be good.
Yeah. What about y'all? You're in the midst of wedding planning.
Dude, we're in the middle of wedding planning. Yeah. It's we actually don't have any plans. Ash Wednesday is actually this Wednesday.
That's right.
It's Valentine's Day. It's kind of funny. So I'll be Nina, my fiance, has to work a little late that night, and so I think she'll be doing something. But then I've got to run to church to go get my forehead ashed up. And yeah, man. Other than that, just gonna be another day. But looking forward to that, man. Wedding planning, it's I'm as all our listeners and friends have told me, it gets worse before it gets better. But
yes, progressively worse up until the big triumphant moment.
It's actually been, it's funny, as busy as it is, it's been really drama free. We've been really blessed. So it's an exciting, fun season. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, it is the time of the season for loving, and that being the case, we have got a very special Tobacco Talk episode tonight. Now, for listeners who this is their first type of Tobacco Talk episode, this is a series that we do typically around the same time that we do a Squire Select, interestingly enough, where we take 2 to 3 tobaccos and we talk about them. We kind of review them. We do what essentially you would expect a pipe tobacco podcast to do, and that is discuss and review pipe tobacco. Now, because this is happening around the season of love, we decided we'd kind of make a little bit of a Valentine's Day twist and in fact have some Valentine themed approaches to picking out the pipe tobaccos that we're discussing. Now, when I suggested this to you, I saw you had two reactions. First was, oh, neat idea. And then followed by, wait, how do we do that?
That is actually the best way I know to describe, this episode. It's like, well, that's a kind of fun, but well, what the heck does that even mean?
How
do you approach that? How?
Ladies, take notes.
No, that's it. So, obviously, we're having a little fun with this, but when you think about Valentine's Day, what comes to your mind? You think about, sweet chocolates and, fruits and candy and all this kind of stuff. And, of course, roses and, just different things like that go along with the holiday. It's actually funny. My fiance and I, we both are not. We don't really care for Valentine's Day. This is not really a. I don't know if y'all are that way, but
it was similar. Yeah,
we really just don't. And that's something I've confirmed. I actually wanted to make sure she wasn't just saying that to agree with me. That's important.
Like you're gonna bait and switch.
Yeah, that's really really important. Right. Oh yeah. Right. Oh, I don't like Valentine's Day either. And then you come to find out she's been bitter for the past 25 years because I hadn't bought her a box of heart shaped teddy bear chocolates or something.
You don't love me because the teddy bear.
I know. But anyway, so you go into it thinking, okay, well, this kind of gets overdone, but and as someone who is single for so many years, you kind of understand like the
single awareness day.
Yeah, it's single awareness day. I get that. I'm getting married later in life for most people in the South anyway, who get married at like age 8.5, and so you just you become more sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Anyway, so we are going into it kind of thinking we're just playing on the chocolate and cherry kind of fruit thoughts here, and thought we'd kind of run with that. There's actually been a tin of tobacco that I've been wanting to review for a while because it's a really good seller at the Squire, but it's just something that never really rose to the top. And I thought we'd use this as kind of an opportunity to review it just because it's been around. It's a great opportunity, and it happens to be a chocolate tobacco, which is good. And apropos. So very apropos. Of course, we love and talk about all the time the tobaccos at Cornell and Deal. Cornell and Deal, great, 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 amazing American tobacconist. Been around for a long time, and quite Jeremy Reeves, our friend over there, who's just such a talented blender.
Well known in the pipe community.
Very well known in the pipe community. Gosh, they just keep cranking out these amazing hits and are so aggressive on trying different things and mixing it up. And but a tobacco that they've had at Cornell and Deal for actually some time is one that we sell quite a bit of here at the Squire, and it's called Chocolate Cavendish. It's just really, really simple.
Man, that is what you calling a duck right there.
And it is. It's just that's it. It's called Chocolate Cavendish, and I love it. Cornell and Deal, they a few years ago kind of changed up their artwork on all their tins, and they their tins, the ones that aren't in a certain series look very simple. If you're listening and not watching, you may be familiar. Their tins are just kind of a auburn, like a burnt orange color with a C&D tobacco, and then the name of the tobacco up front. Some of the tins that are in different series have really cool artwork on them and that kind of thing. But Cornell and Deal, a lot of their traditional, older blends are just in this very, kind of vanilla, packaging, and frankly, it's kind of appealing. What's funny,
it's been like
really not. It's been like this a while. What's interesting is they had an artwork update a couple of years ago, and this is actually much more elaborate than it used to be.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not. Yeah. Which is kind of funny. So, it just used to be really, really simple, but Chocolate Cavendish has been around for quite some time. We sell a lot of it here. So
yeah, man. So the Cornell, you talk about kind of the, here's this one solid color that goes everywhere, and then their text and logo goes over it. I mean, that is a very much kind of a design of the era. Now I think we're actually kind of moving out of a little bit out of that design into instead of just here's this one color, here's that one color, but here's like all of that one color like brushed around and that sort of thing.
Right.
And so, but it is very much a modern look. I think they were a little
Yeah.
ahead of the time even in their design approach. Not
Yeah.
to say that I don't
I
like
like
the
it.
more detailed tins as well, but this one is nice.
Yeah, it's just it's a nice
Can
nice
we
change
can we
up.
pop it open?
Yeah. So let me read the back of it. It's our traditional Cavendish base, made even more flavorful with the addition of our own exclusive formulation of natural chocolate and cocoa beans. So
Ooh.
really, really beautiful. I'll let you, Beau, smell it and describe it here.
Oh, it's just like you handed me a like little heart shape of chocolates, and I'm opening it up and I'm giving it a whiff.
We've already had people like Portland Paul's missing us tonight, but he says no making out.
Oh man. All right, so this is cocoa. What you just
Yeah,
said,
no,
like
that's right.
honestly, when the tin note speaks to me more, because I know that cocoa and chocolate are in the same vein, right? But they are very. When I think of chocolate, I tend to think of like milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is very much a cocoa type of
Well,
whiff.
yeah. What's interesting about this, of course, you've got a tobacco that is just very clean. You know, this is a lot of Cavendish based tobaccos. You know, you've got people think of opening something that's real syrupy, lots of moisture, lots of heavy casing.
Right. Yeah.
This is an incredibly simple tobacco, much like the name and the branding would kind of portray here, right? So you've got a kind of a chopped, Cavendish cut burley, mixture here. It looks like, and it's just real finely kind of chopped and ribbon cut. It's got that kind of signature old school Cavendish look to it. This is not we're not talking about fermented or steamed or toasted Cavendish or anything that like that. This is just a real natural looking tobacco. But I think what's striking about this is that this is not your this is not your very heavily cased aromatic. You're not opening a tin of Malta Dolce here or something that's got just a lot of syrup or a lot of casing on. It's very dry, but not in a unpleasant way. I mean, it's certainly it's decidedly an aromatic tobacco. So real soft. The cocoa flavor to it is very subtle. But it's one of those that I think honestly has a lot of usefulness as far as its simplicity goes because it can be smoked alone, but it can also be blended with things as well. So very, very, very clean.
So it can be on its own in a singles awareness kind of way, or it can be blended with something else in a very romantic kind of way.
That is exactly right. That is exactly
now that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a pipe tobacco for Valentine's Day.
You
well
like that,
played,
right?
sir.
You like
yes.
that. It burns really clean. It's one of those that again, this is of your aromatics. It's going to be a drier aromatic, and again, they talk about the cocoa and the you talk about the difference between chocolate and cocoa and those flavors. There's some cigars we have here at the shop called Toscanellos, which real popular. It's actually a brand of cigar, the Toscanos, that Clint Eastwood smoked in those movies. Really cool Italian kind of cheroot looking cigars. Really, really great. Matter of fact, Adrian, one of our listeners, is also the representative for our shop for that particular cigar with Miami Cigars. And they do a great job. But the Toscanellos, they have a cigar that reminds me very much of this tobacco because it's actually flavored with the cocoa bean. You've got this kind of it's not a artificial flavoring. They use vanilla, natural cocoa to flavor these cigars, and so you're not getting a chocolate flavor as much as you are just kind of this almost a baking cocoa flavor.
So it's like an extract that they're using. It's not like they're like grinding it up and powdering.
To be honest, I'm not positive. I think it could be some of both. Yeah,
interesting.
I think it could be some of both. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure. Obviously they have their own proprietary recipes, but I almost get that sense in which it's like, oh, they've found the chocolate powder, back in the back of grandma's kitchen, and they're kind of using that to dust up some of this tobacco, and it's pleasant,
Grandma's kitchen would be a great name for a pipe tobacco.
Yeah, it would. So anyway, this is chocolate Cavendish from Cornell and Deal. Good blend. It's not one of those, if you like just syrupy sweet tobaccos, it's not going to be probably your favorite. But if you do like just a gentle aromatic that's simple, nice all day smoke with a nice tobacco flavor, but also elements of sweetness. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy.
Oh
So,
man,
yeah.
that's a lovely pick. I mean, like like you say, if you're home alone, you want to smoke it on your own, you go right for it. Or if you're with someone, you want to blend it on up. You know where to go. That's the Cornell and Deal Chocolate Cavendish. All right, what up next? We got
you're doing great, Beau.
Oh, by the way, Punk Rock Piper wanted to clarify: is that red Cavendish?
I believe it is. Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean it's burley. This is just burley. Yeah, I mean it's just this is not a steamed black Cavendish. This is not something that's it's like a natural. Peter Stokeby has what they call a Dutch natural Cavendish. This reminds me much more of that than like a traditional black Cavendish.
Gotcha.
So you're looking at more of a red, kind of a brown look there. So yeah, that's what you got.
All right, man. What we got up next?
So we've got one of our house blends here. We're actually talking about tonight. We've talked about this blend a lot historically here on the show, and it's not a blend that we've talked about as much of late. But what's interesting is this blend has just been reformulated, and so we decided we worked really hard on it. This was kind of a project of Caleb the intern and mine over the last couple of months, and it's something we have been needing to do for a while, and finally the market kind of forced our hand, and we have reformulated this blend. This is something that happens occasionally in the pipe world where you get stuck with this really popular tobacco, but what made it so popular is that you were using very unique ingredients, and then maybe you're one of the few people in the market that found that ingredient and used it, and so therefore it went off the market, and you're stuck with this recipe that is awesome, but you can't make anymore. And so we just kind of had to start monkeying with our Parsons blend formula.
Nice.
Which is really something.
I had it's funny, I had a feeling that Parsons blend might be making an appearance on this one because of its origins and because of the way that it can really help your romantic relationship as well, no matter who you're with. And I know John David's about to tell us more about that.
I feel like we're on like almost like a Saturday Night Live like parody Valentine's Day show.
Yeah,
like,
we got our Cavassier
like
here.
Is the ladies man but feeding you questions to me? Is that like man, if I was going to talk about pipe tobacco and also be sexified, I would ask questions like this.
This is no man, this is Beau After Dark. CSR After Dark.
That's just terrible.
Parsons blend After Dark. Tell us about Parsons blend.
So we've got Parsons blend here. Of course, Parsons blend, I love this tobacco. This is a tobacco originally about 6 years ago that we blended. Believe it or not, we've talked about this before. We blended it for my priest, which is a local Anglican minister. He is a customer here at the Country Squire. He wanted something his wife liked the smell of, and this is a tobacco that's meant to be smoked indoors. It's lots of burley, and so it's real fluffy with lots of nice puffy cloudy smoke, but it's also got a sweet aroma to it, no tongue bite, that kind of thing. And so over the years we just sold so much Parsons blend, and we got to the point where because of the tobacco environment we were forced to reblend it, and so this is one we worked really hard on, obviously, because it's a house favorite, and so anyway, Parsons blend, we've got a blend of Cavendish, Virginias, and burley, and the burley and the Cavendish, Parsons blend traditionally has been a fruit mixture. It's kind of a medley, almost like if fruitcake were a good thing, it was it was that kind of deal, And this one we've kept some of that in there, but this one is decidedly it's got the cherry that most people did get out of Parsons blend, but it also has this kind of backdrop, undergirding note of what we're really excited about, which is apricot. And I think that's fun. This has been a fun tobacco to really come to know and love. And I think I think if folks smoked Parsons blend in the past, and it was a little too sweet for them, this is going to be a little more subtle of a variety.
I liked how sweet Parsons blend was.
Well, it's still sweet. It's still sweet, but it's but I think for the folks that enjoy stuff that is not quite as quite as over the top. It might provide you with something. So anyway, give it a smell.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this because I knew
honestly, I can't wait for you to try it. Yeah, this is something we're really proud to come out with.
Oh yeah, no, the sweetness is still there.
No, it's definitely, and the jar note, this is something that when you smell it, immediately, in the jar, you think, okay, this is Parsons blend.
All right, so I know that you've got some amazing Tolkien-esque inspired blends, and you even have a bag end blend. But there is something about taking a deep whiff of Parsons blend that makes you feel like you've just walked into this big hearth, like this big hobbit hole with like a fire and good food and everything else. And like this is the smell of like the tobacco in the air. Like Parsons blend is home, man. Like it's such a good.
Is.
You've done so well. This is excellent, man.
I think we feel really good about it. The room note on this tobacco is really nice. It's one of those that we kind of stayed true. When we blended this blend originally, this is something that was meant to be smoked. If your significant other would allow it, this is meant to be smoked indoors,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to leave people with a real clean, delicious tasting and smelling room note and all that. But it's also something that I think is really nice. The subtle flavors again of the kind of apricot, those dried fruits, kind of bring up the rear with just a little bright cherry. This is not like a syrupy cherry. This is think more of a just kind of a dash of a real clean kind of bright cherry over the top with some nice burley and just a dash of Virginia in there too for some more natural sweetness. But burley in this tobacco is always a lot of fun because this is a tobacco that people love because of the amount of smoke it produces. We're not talking about
get those plumes, man.
Plumes of smoke with Parsons blend. That's always been very kind of a key key element to it. So but anyway, it's just a fruit flavored tobacco. It's one of those that is appealing to a whole lot of palates and an incredibly good seller. And we thought it'd be good tonight for Valentine's Day.
What I love, man, is you sneak it. You sneak that cherry in there because the fact is, you can definitely pick that up. And I'm not somebody who likes cherries.
Well,
but you mask it.
Okay, so
everything else that's going on.
That's another thing with Parsons blend, right? Most people that smoke tobaccos, you let them see your different varieties that we've got here at the Squire, and they're like, oh well, you can go ahead and mark all those out because they're cherry, right? And we're so hesitant to let people put Parsons blend in that category, because it's not there's so much more going on in Parsons blend than just a wallop of cherry, right? I mean, that's just kind of traditionally where it's been. So it's more of a we just have always called it a fruit mixture because you'll get notes of grape and apricot and cherry and raspberry and just these different things that are in there. But apple, a lot of folks get apple there, but a pear flavor, we've heard that before. But there is an element of cherry there. We want to acknowledge it, but we're so vexed when this tobacco winds up getting lumped in with other cherry tobaccos because it's just not such. So anyway, we encourage you to try this. I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, and you got to love that story too, right? I mean, Parsons was in this very like committed blended relationship with certain ingredients that got ripped away from it before the time was really there, and it was missing. Like it was not whole. It could not be a blend without these ingredients coming together, and it took some time, man. Parsons had to come to Jesus, had to have some time to get its recipe right before it finally found the right ingredients to restore it into what it was always meant to be, just like with the relationships that we know in our life. So if you're with your loved one, remember, no matter what happened before, the relationships of the past, they don't matter, except for the fact that they helped bring you to the relationship you're in now. Hug that person, that true love next to you, and smoke some Parsons blend while you do it.
You missed your calling, dude. I mean, I just, and
I could have been a perfume salesman.
Well, I like how you could have, right? And the stories and the shtick, it just gets better with the more whiskey, right?
You're telling the stories. I'm just framing them up.
Great.
That's all. I'm just taking what you're saying.
Well, I do want to review one more tobacco we've got here tonight.
All right, this is the secret one.
Yeah, we've never done 3 tobaccos in a row that I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
But I did, as I was getting ready for tonight's show, I was curious about something, and I thought to myself, what if we blended these 2 tobaccos together? what would happen?
Ooh.
Well, you've got Parsons Blend, which is just such a house favorite. Of course, the recipe is newer, and people have to learn to love the new one and be introduced to it. But we've also got this chocolate Cavendish, been on the market for a while. So what if we blended them together? And I have to say, I'm smoking my first bowl right now, and it's pretty doggone good.
Yeah?
It's pretty doggone good. So I blended equal parts of Cornell Deal's chocolate Cavendish with our new recipe for Parsons Blend, and I'd like to introduce you to Beau's Afternoon Delight.
Oh, look at this! Oh, guys, it's got my name on it.
So isn't that something? Yeah,
You're giving this to me on Valentine's Day.
it's really it's amazing. Yeah, yeah. It's Happy Valentine's Day, Beau.
Oh man, this is gorgeous.
It just adds kind of that natural, the cocoa powder kind of flavor we talked about to the subtle fruit of the Parsons Blend. I don't know. It's been good to smoke so far. I want to smoke a few more bowls and see kind of where it takes us.
Oh man, this is great. I
have to monkey with it a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Beau's Afternoon Delight. Well, I know what I'll be doing tomorrow afternoon, man. This is great. Gonna find my tobacco, gonna hold it, gonna pack it tight, gonna smoke some Afternoon Delight. Man, this is awesome.
If I were quicker, I would join in, but I really can't think of any lyrics.
John David's always saying, when it's right, it's right. Gonna get my Missouri Meerschaum, and I'm gonna pack it tight.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
There we go. How about that? No, but I did want to say this is so beautiful, man, because in many respects, the tobaccos that we've had tonight, you just think of your true love passing you some of that chocolate Cavendish, that first date where they slid that on over to you, and you enjoyed that. And later in life,
you go with me. Here's my chocolate.
And later in life, they take you to the Parson where you make it official. And now you're in this beautiful marriage of Beau's Afternoon Delight. It's so great. Well, man, I cannot wait to smoke this. I tell you what, I am going to be smoking this.
Yeah, just something fun.
My corncob pipe from Missouri Meerschaum.
That's right, man.
It's a great way to sample a lot of great tobaccos. And that's one of the things that we love is whenever we do tobacco talks, we get a chance to talk about some tobaccos that you may not have tried. And with a great Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipe, you get a good, cool smoke, but you're also able to make sure that you get all of those flavors every single time that you're sampling a new tobacco. And that's what you want. Beau's Afternoon Delight, you're going to smoke this. You're going to think, oh my gosh, I need to break in a new pipe for this. But you don't know that at first. You got to sample something through a good, clean smoke, like the smokes that you're going to get through a Missouri Meerschaum pipe.
That's right. We love their pipes because they're so affordable, but they're also really good for sampling, like Beau talks about. And in our business, on our side of the counter, we're constantly tasting new tobaccos, and we always want just a clean, fresh smoke. And a lot of times a small bowl for some of these tobaccos, just to get a little pinch here and there to try different ingredients and different blends and see how things are marrying up over time. One of my favorite pipes for that is the Missouri Meerschaum Shortstop. Just a great little pipe. It's got the very small Missouri Meerschaum mini bowl on it, but it's actually got a little longer stem, so it's not you don't quite look like you're smoking something that belongs on a keychain. It's just a little longer than that. It's a really nice size pocket pipe, but has just wide enough bowl to get your pipe nail down in there to tamp your ashes down, and it's got just enough room in the bowl for a nice sampling of a new tobacco that you just want to find out about. So anyway, great pipes at Missouri Meerschaum, and from our friends there, we love them, support them, and we ask that if you're smoking a Missouri Meerschaum pipe, take a picture, tweet it to us, and we'd like to tweet that back out to thank Missouri Meerschaum for supporting our show.
That's right. Smoke rings are in flight. Afternoon Delight. Boo! Beau's Afternoon Delight. Man. All right, man. We got a great pipe question this week.
You did not miss your calling there.
I think I sing okay.
You did all right.
I'm making it.
Keep your day job.
We got a great pipe question this week that comes in from Nelson. Nelson over at the Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club. He actually writes for the Sherlock Holmes Pipes Club Gazette.
Yeah.
This is, of course, an online publication that many people in Boston and beyond, far beyond, are aware of. He says, "Good afternoon. In the last issue of the Gazette, I informed our readers about the Red Virginia issue going on with McClelland. Gave the information that we shared. One of our members wrote back. We shared here on Country Squire Radio.
Yeah.
He says one of our members wrote back in that same day and emailed saying that he put something on the site that was incorrect. When he responded and asked what was incorrect, took the guy guy a while to respond, but he said that he just said that McClelland is in fact going out of business, but that whether or not he's heard that by now. He said, I've heard nothing. And there was no mention of this on either this show or, of course, Pipes Magazine. And he was wondering if we can confirm whether or not that is the case. Is McClellan going out of business? Is this a conspiracy? What's going on? He says, are they keeping it quiet so as means to bring it says, are they keeping it quiet so that the masses don't bring down all the websites trying to buy everything up? He says, thank you both. Again, this is Nielsen. So shouts out to Nielsen. And by the way, before we even get into it, shouts out to the Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club Gazette.
That's right. And Nelson, man, longtime friend of the show. We're so thankful for you, brother. Man, glad you wrote in. So, he's referring to our I forget what we even called the episode, but we talked about the Virginia crisis
of 2018.
2018, here a few weeks ago, and just the impact that it's having on McClelland and the direction their company is trying to figure out right now. And so all the information we have received and have shared on the show, just to be clear, has come straight from McClelland.
That's right.
It just comes straight from them. They're adamant they're not going anywhere. It's one of those companies that are they're incredibly determined. They've been around for over 40 years now and are incredibly determined to stay in the business. But they're also committed to only selling things that they truly believe in. And so, again, I'm just kind of sharing with you the party line here. McClelland, they have a lot of tobacco right now that's not available because, according to them, they have some leaf that has been stored up in some of these barns in places like South Carolina and North Carolina that, frankly, have just not had the time to sweat through some of those summer months yet to get pulled out to make some of their favorite aromatic leaves. And so they anticipate having that in the relatively near future, but don't currently. Their 10 tobaccos are still readily available. We see those on the market and know them and love them. And again, the folks at McClelland, are adamant that they're here to stay. And again, that is coming straight from McClelland. So unless something has changed in the past day or two, whenever I call up there to chat with them, whether it's ordering or I've got a question about something, when we talk to them, they're just the most delightful folks. We've talked on and on about Mike and Mary up there and just how incredibly talented they are and also what interesting people they are. We just love interacting with them. But if things do change and we're made aware of that, we'd love to share it on the show and we'll be more than happy to do that. We believe in McClelland. We love them. We wish them many years to come. And we think they're going through a transitionary time right now, but all indications are they're committed to staying around. Even though some of their products are hard to get right now, and of course they have phased out entirely 5100, which was a big hit to the industry. So anyway, so we'll see where it goes. But so far the party line is they're here and they're not going anywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this too, that, for those of you who may not have tuned in, but for a couple of episodes, that was and by the way, almost spilled. I knocked it over, but I did not quite spill my drink. Sorry, Mike. Let's take that one from the top.
I love it when Beau spills crap.
It happens a lot.
It does happen quite a bit.
Funny enough, the more I drink, the more I end up spilling. That doesn't make any sense to me, but that's how it happens. All right, Mike. Let's pick up here. Yeah, and I think one thing that's important to point out as well is that Country Squire Radio, we are a podcast that is dedicated to the community and the craft and the culture that surrounds pipes, pipe tobacco, pipe smoking. It's always been the case. I mean, the tone of our show is very much we try to, for the most part, take a timeless approach to the content that we cover in terms of kind of broader, big topics and even with kind of even with some of the more things that are relevant to the day and age, we try to kind of cover it from a little bit more of a it's as relevant,
part of a larger picture.
Yeah, it's
kind of thing.
Relevant from the moment that we put it out there and will be for the next 2 years and was 2 years ago as well. That being said, we have done special episodes in the past where there have been breaking news of kind of a seismic proportion that really do shake up the industry. So we will continue to do that when there are kind of like, big groundbreaking moments in in the industry.
Yeah. But we're not, like we talked about before, we're not really investigative journalists for the pipe industry. That's not really our go-to thing or identity. But but occasionally if news comes up, we like to talk about it, and if it's appropriate, we'll maybe get some sources or something like that. But yeah, just to be clear, the information we shared on that show came directly from the folks at McClellan.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay, good deal. Well, hey, if you got a pipe question of the week, we'd love to hear from you. You can email the show at countrysquireradio.com, or of course Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of good stuff. But emails are great. So show at countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire questions. Ow! All right, man. Quick fire questions, of course, brought to you by the Tin Society. More about the Tin Society and that amazing, amazing service in just a minute. But first, these from Peter Lambrecht. He's a club member, so I got to mispronounce his name.
Okay, no, that's right. That's exactly right.
That's right. All right. So these are from Peter.
Okay, good.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Puzzle or book? Book. Puzzles are fun. My kids are into puzzles.
When's the last time I did a puzzle? I mean, I'm not saying I shouldn't do one or don't like them. When's the last time I did a doggone puzzle?
So like my kids are like, I've done this ballerina puzzle, like, I don't know how many times, but they're like the kind with like the big chunky pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids side.
Right.
But even like, I remember my grandparents my grandmother for a small time was into puzzles, like the really tiny jigsaw puzzles where they make this big giant thing.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like trying it and getting really frustrated and thinking, man, no, I just can't do this.
Man, I kind of had this sudden urge to go buy a puzzle. Like, what was seriously, I don't think I've done a puzzle since I was 14. I mean, I don't know.
I like the idea of like a community-driven puzzle.
Time, yeah.
Like if you had a table out here with like all the jigsaw pieces and everybody
that
would
actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, Scout's honor, don't take any pieces.
Right.
And then like everybody, just while you're just chilling out, you just kind of working on it.
You just kind of work a little bit, and then
that's kind of a cool idea.
That's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, that could work. But I just on my own, like if I'm just like hanging out at the house, or if it was my book time, then I don't know that I'd go puzzle. I'd go book.
Yeah. I'd do a puzzle, like, I don't know. We need someone to get one of those custom puzzles made with like Brian Levine on it or something. I'm just saying.
That's brilliant.
It could be fun. Yeah.
I want a Brian Levine puzzle. Now that's a puzzle I would do.
A Brian Levine puzzle where he's dressed up like Gandalf and you're standing next to him like dressed up like Frodo.
Well, we should both be hobbits because we're both in that kind of variety. And that would be amazing.
And there could be this really beautiful kind of fantasy, Middle Earth background.
Lord of the
waterfalls.
Smoke Rings. It'd be amazing.
Oh, mercy.
Russ.
Lord of the Smoke Rings.
Next time the three of us are together, we should try to make that happen. We should take that picture.
I thoroughly agree.
That would be great. All right, espresso or drip brew coffee?
Drip coffee. I'm a drip coffee guy. But I like a latte, and I like cappuccinos occasionally and cafe au lait. But I'm just a kind of a plain Jane kind of dude.
So don't get me wrong, I love drip coffee. But if espresso, if a cappuccino is the option,
if it's done right,
dude, I like mine super dry too, which is hard to find like a barista that actually.
Is that with less milk? Is that the idea?
More foam, less milk. In fact, the more, if it was like just foam with no milk, and I mean like foam all the way to the top with no milk involved, beyond the foam, then that's the way that I prefer.
See, normally our live studio audience is here tonight, and she is the coffee expert.
She's like the queen of coffee.
So I hear you saying these things, and normally on a normal night, I would look over to her, and she'd either be like, he's shaking her head up and down like he's right, or shaking her head side to side, rolling her eyes like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. This is a great kind of pull the curtain back type thing, because the future Mrs. John David Cole, like she's very good about like affirming things we say with just kind of like a or very much like negating them, like this is kind of like just a very not just a shaking a head, like a sad or angry
you foolish swine
exactly
kind of look, right?
You did good, man.
She doesn't hold back.
All right, and finally, comic strip artist or stand-up comedian?
Ooh.
I'm not sure the context of this one.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you pick one or the other. I mean, are we talking like Garfield? Are we talking like Garfield, or who did Jim Davis? Was that his name? Are we talking Jim Davis versus Jim Gaffigan? Is that the comparison here? I don't know.
I like Hot Pockets. Actually, I sound like Louis Anderson.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably a stand-up comic kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, we had a web comic, or I guess we still have a web comic that we've got. Well, we did 2 volumes, and then we had started the 3rd volume, and then we couldn't quite figure out where to take it, and so it's kind of on indefinite hiatus at the moment. But I feel like I could do stand-up comedy. Maybe not.
Well, that's good. Good for you.
You say that makes one of us.
Yeah, good for you, Beau.
We could do it. We could do a double act. We could do a sister act. Sisters, there were never such voted.
It's such a fool.
We're gonna go with stand-up comedian on that one. Peter, thank you so much for those quick fire questions. And, hey, if you got some, send them in. We love getting those. Of course, the quick fire questions brought to us by the Tin Society.
The Tin Society, our good friends at this new subscription service that we know and love. It's just such a great idea. They're bringing the box concept, the subscription service concept to the pipe world, which we've been wanting so desperately. And
get those premium tins, man.
Premium tins. Of course, we're all enamored by these shiny, beautiful tins. We go online or in our favorite pipe shop and see these this smattering of tins. We want to buy them all because they're beautiful and want to collect them all. But the problem is, you spend 10, 12, 15, $20 on a tin, and you may not like it. You invest a lot of money in these tobaccos that once you pop the top, it's yours. And so, the Tin Society, their great model is you get to try before you buy it and commit to a full tin. And so, just for a really competitive fee, you get several tobacco samples a month. Each sample is good for about 3 smokes each, and so you get a really good understanding of what the tobacco is like. It's all premium tobaccos that you would get from some of the best tin companies out there. We're talking, of course, about Dunhill, McClellan, Cornell and Deal, Orlick, Escudo, Seattle Pipe Club. I mean, just you name it. These are the tins that these guys feature. It's a great opportunity to try these tobaccos before you commit to whole tin. And of course, they keep it interesting because they're constantly rotating stuff in and out. So
that's right.
Yeah, really excited about that.
So, we talked about tobaccos tonight that you want to commit to, but maybe you're the type that doesn't like commitment. You just want one sample of tobacco after the other, night after night. You dog. Tin Society is right for you. TinSociety.com. Use the code SQUIRE for 20% off on your first month's order. And a nice Missouri Meerschaum pipe, so you make sure you get all the lovely flavors from all those samples rolling in and out throughout your monthly subscription at TinSociety.com. Again, that's the code SQUIRE. We thank them so much for sponsoring the show. All right, man, listener feedback. This has been a fun. This is I know it's fun. It's not over yet, but it's good.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
All right, listener feedback this week comes in. Actually, before we get to the listener feedback, this came in from so many people.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of put it as kind of a correction note from last week. We talked, of course, about squadron leader and the question of what plane was there. Well, that has been corrected.
That was addressed, right?
That was addressed. And of course, that plane is the World War I era.
Sopwith Camel.
Sopwith Camel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many tweets and emails and comments that we got immediately
wanting to clarify that.
Yeah, you look at the timestamp from the moment we went live through the moment that we started this podcast, we were getting more and more of those comments.
No, that's good. That's what, hey, we love that. We
Absolutely.
Love that. Yeah, but I would like to think, brother, that we are humble enough to receive that kind of stuff very, very readily, right? So, if we're when you come in our shop, and if I don't know the answer to something, I'm typically pretty quick to say, I don't know, but we'll look into that. And we didn't know what the name of that plane was, and it was the squadron leader plane is a Sopwith Camel World War I era plane.
That's right, man.
Yeah,
holding us accountable is just as a great way actually to support us, and so very because y'all are so gracious when you do, which is nice. All right, so Jackson W. Faulkner wrote on. He said, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Jackson, not the city, but the guy." He said, "I am 18 years old and currently serving in the Army." Well, thank you for your service, Jackson.
I love this.
"I started listening to your show when I was 16. I've been listening weekly ever since." We're not going to get in trouble with the law here, are we?
Nah.
Okay, all right.
Nah, he's 18.
He's 18 now.
Once he crossed the line, we had our little tentacles in him.
Mike, please cut that. All right. So he says, "I hadn't started smoking yet, but I love the Southern culture that I found emanating from your show. mostly from JD. Hey, now, all right. I'm from Mississippi. I have been all my life.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a little Southern accent, but it's not as thick as mine.
All right, fair enough. So I come from a Southern family.
You're blessed.
I'm named after and related to Stonewall of the Jacksons. He says Missouri and Alabama mostly, but live in Kansas. My grandpa and dad smoke cigar together every chance they get, and I know growing up I would smoke them the day that I turned 18. Sweet, we are in the clear. But I wanted something different. I do enjoy a cigar on occasion now, but the culture and old school swagger surrounding pipes is something I love. Listening to the show gave me an incredible amount of guidance on the tobacco world. So the day I turned 18, I bought a Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman pipe with a tin of Gayworth, Hogarth, and Company. Oh, Co number one. Is it Co or Company?
I'm not familiar with those.
Okay. Yeah. Co number one CC blend. Thank you so much for the weekly dose of Southern culture and pipe knowledge. Cheers. Again, that's from Jackson W. Faulkner. You can't get a more Southern name than that one right there.
That's a solid Southern name. Right. Yeah. No, that's solid. Jackson, thanks so much for writing in, brother. We're man, just honored to be a part of your man, your journey, your entry into the pipe smoking community and world. We appreciate your service, man, in the Army, serving the United States. And man, or just hope that your pipe as you're out there, whether you're at boot camp or out deployed somewhere, man, your pipe is is a real minister to your heart. So
absolutely,
thanks a bunch, man. We appreciate you a lot.
Welcome to the brotherhood. Now that you're 18,
that's right.
Absolutely. Next one comes up from JD on iTunes. Now I'm assuming this is not you.
I did not review on iTunes our own podcast.
Okay.
No.
Okay. You didn't want to be
correct.
that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, this is from DJ. Nice podcast, 5 stars.
That one guy
right.
that looks like Jesus he's really smart.
He's so good looking.
He's so good looking.
Yeah. Should get an Emmy or something. Right.
Honestly, we probably. Well, I'm not even going to get into
that.
No. Okay. So JD on iTunes says.
Oh, go ahead.
She says, "Seems like my first friends in Mississippi." And yeah, why don't you take it from here?
Okay.
JD.
Yeah. I think I know who this is coming from. See, this is on iTunes. Seems like my first friends in Mississippi. My wife and I just moved to the Jackson area, and since I work from home, I don't get out much to meet people. Along comes the Country Squire podcast, and thank God for that. Catching up with all the archives, I listen to a couple per day, and JD and Beau have made it feel like I've got some built-in friends, and I'm just sitting around smoking a pipe and chatting with. There's great content that wanders around mixed topics and yet always circles back to pipes and pipe tobacco. Released funny banter and welcoming, inclusive attitudes will make you feel, I think you said relaxed, actually. Relaxed, funny banter, and welcoming, inclusive attitudes will make you feel like being a part of the gang, too. I highly recommend these guys. Thanks, friends. JD, man, thank you so much, brother. As you have moved to Mississippi, we are just so glad to have you in our life, brother.
So you know who this is?
I do.
All right.
I do. Good friend of the shop and the show.
All right, good. Have I met this person?
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. I don't know.
I gotta meet JD too.
Yeah.
And that is what I will call. That is what I will call you, JD.
JD2.
JD2.
Don't do that to him.
Well, okay. Maybe JD1 then.
Oh, now you're gonna call me JD2.
JD. Yeah, now you're JD2.
Okay, no, call him that.
No. I think it's great that you want to fall on that sword. I will support this. No, but y'all, thank y'all so much. This feedback is incredibly. I mean, honestly, it's humbling whenever we get these emails, these iTunes reviews, and just hearing how we've been able to play a little bit of role in your weekly routine and get to know you guys as y'all have been able to get to know us as well. Twitter's been pretty lively tonight. Yes.
Yeah, I like this. Apparently, there's a thing so people are trying to, or at least our friend Hoctor the Love Doctor, trying to guess my pipe.
Oh, this is a thing.
Each week.
Hashtag guess John David's pipe.
Is this my thing?
Guys, he found out about it. He finally got on Twitter and saw it.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, tonight I'm smoking my rusticated Bing's favorite. I have 2 Bing's favorites, and I've been wanting a third for quite some time now. But this is my rusticated one. I committed to aromatic tobaccos and just smoke a smattering of that from there. So really nice. We've got a at the Creators Design Pipes on here tweets a photo of that I think he may have gotten from the Babylon Bee. Actually,
I've seen this on the Babylon Bee.
It's of Pastor John Piper, a well-known Christian pastor, and he's smoking a church warden pipe and probably waxing poetic about some kind of Tolkien stuff and the Bible. We've also got let's see, Yeah, right. So our friend at C Duomo, good friend Chris, he says, so this iTunes review is by Don Javid, right? Totally, totally legit. Yeah, if Don Javid interviews, yeah, I mean that's that's definitely not me. We can assure you that. So. Anyway, yeah, lots of good activity on the Twitter sphere tonight. So
yeah, we love getting that feedback in, especially those iTunes reviews. It's a great way to help support the show. It doesn't cost you a dime to do, just a couple minutes, jump on there. If you don't want to wax as poetic as some of these come in, that's fine. We'll love even just a one sentence that says these guys good. We'll take it. Honestly, I think that's always awesome. But by the way, for those of you who are willing to help support the show and spend a few dollars along the way, we encourage you to check out the Country Squire Radio International Pipe Club. You can join up at patreon.com/Country Squire Radio for $3 to $5 per episode. Or if you just want to send $1 an episode, like don't want to be part of the club, but still want to support us, that's great as well. We greatly appreciate that. We need those dollars to help make the show happen, bring it to you every single week without fail at the quality that you have come to know and love from Country Squire Radio. We also want to encourage you to send in, by the way, pipe questions. So we actually, when I was pulling in pipe questions for this week, we need a few more in. So if you want to go ahead and for those newbie pipe smokers, good chance to get kind of send those questions. There are no dumb pipe questions, nor are there dumb pipe smokers. There's just dumb us, and we will do our best.
That is fair
to make you less dumb.
Yeah, that is fair.
I don't think that makes sense.
Doesn't make sense at all. But yeah,
but
let it make sense tonight.
We encourage you, by the way, check us out. You can join us live for a live show at countrysquireradio.com. Join us on Monday nights after hours at 8:30 p.m. That's 6:30 Pacific. Let me try that again. Join us after hours at 8:30 p.m. Central. That's 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. You can also follow us throughout the week. You can follow me. I'm at the Real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at @_Country Squire.
And of course, the show's Twitter handle as well as at Squire Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that wherever you are right now, that it has been a wonderful Valentine's Day, that we have provided you some recommendations to share with the loved ones in your life, that as you light up your pipe with some of this beautiful chocolate Cornell and Deal, Parsons blend, Beau's Afternoon Delight, whatever it may be, let the fire in your bowl be like the fire in your heart that burns, brings warmth, soothes the soul. And while it may not last forever, it lasts just long enough to remind you that you are loved. This has been Beau York and John David Cole, signing out for a very special Valentine's Day Country Squire Radio. John David, let's go have a night.
Get out of here, dude.
That was fun.
Bye, y'all.
We did a Valentine's Day special, guys. Only Country Squire Radio. Show me anywhere where there has ever been another pipe tobacco show that has done a Valentine's Day episode. Brian Levine's probably done every single year.
I know, right? He's done everything we try to do, but yeah.
He's the Simpsons. The
Simpsons already did it.
The Simpsons already did it. Brian Levine already did it.
That's right.
All right, guys. This was a blast.
Man.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good one.
Good night, y'all.